Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Divinity Original Sin. So we did pick up a scroll. Let's see. A force field, a bypass spell. Let's go ahead and read that. Speak this spell before the barrier of the Winter King. Its incantations will call the spirits of the Realm of Fairy away from their stations, and you may pass freely.
With this incantation, we can pass the force field that bars the way into the castle.
High time for an audience with King Boreas, I say.
Oh. That should have been something that I did earlier. That does not get me in there. Alright, then can I teleport, No. Alright. Well, disappointing. We'll have to figure that out later. Maybe we'll go break the staff. For now, let's go to the prison. Come on in here. Well, it does not seem to have done it.
I've tried my very best, and will try and try anew. But so far, this damnable ice scoffs at my every effort.
Just gonna take a quick look at things. Nope, I think you have the same stuff. There has to be a way to set it free.
So. Now that you've dealt with Boreas, you have the staff in which the other seasons lie ensnared. If you can set them free, perhaps they can break their brother's magic.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Alright, I'll take my leave. Alright, let's do some rift travel.
It seems the winter...
Lava pits. Alright, where was the... First of all, where was, what's his name? He's over here. Oh, come on. I'll get those boots back on. Snow boots. There we go. Alright, where was he?
Such tragedy. Such pointless loss of life.
There we go. Oh, Guapinium mushrooms. It's those. There we go. Gotta focus on the important things, right?
Such tragedy. If there is anything I can do to help you slay all Immaculates, pray state it.
Okay, let's see. You have stuff I don't care about. Let's see. I have Boreas' elemental staff. I need to destroy it and was hoping you'd know how.
You have the staff. But that means you must have killed Boreas. Just what that fat snow cone had coming to him.
So does this mean that there's going to be no winter here?
You want to destroy it, you say? Free the elementals inside, yes. It is rather simple, really. That which was made in the Elemental Forge can be destroyed in the Elemental Forge. That is where you should go.
Alright, tell me about the Elemental Forge.
It is located in the Fire Temple, where my poor brethren were massacred, and the very place where we imps created many of the traps that litter this realm. Perhaps you met with some of our handiwork. The rats and the roosters. Inventive creations. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I met them. I met them. Alright, I'll take my leave. I'm less pleased with you now, sir. But I suppose it's not really your fault. But still, did you have to?
Such tragedy.
Alright, up we go. Make our way inside. That staff is still glowing, but I'm not allowed to take it. Alright. Let's get all the way to the end here. Use the elemental forge. Right, would probably help if I took the staff back, wouldn't it?
Brother, sister, we are free. And who is this? Can it be that a frail mortal human faced and bested our own scheming Boreas?
It could indeed, and you got, like, nothing good, sir.
Ah, but this is no mortal, I see. Strange, you'd take the guise of a source hunter.
Well, the avatar has to fit in.
Of course, honor your chosen
You know?
form. Indeed, I suppose I should have expected that one of your kind would snare our brother sooner or later.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's just one of those things. You gotta become an appropriate form when you go to new worlds, which is why I was perfectly ordinary human in the future, in Mass Effect. You know, you gotta take the appropriate forms.
Boreas always did dance uncomfortably
Elf and
close
Arcanum,
to the
you know.
dark arts. But I suppose the others of we elemental monarchs thought it better not to interfere in the affairs of his realm.
Yeah, you should probably think about that next time.
No, like fools, we waited for his pride, his hunger for more and ever more power, to pull us from our own seats of safety and into his sordid storm. We, and with us all the subjects of the realm of Fairy, do owe you our lives, Source Hunter. If, no, not if, but when, we might be of assistance to you in this dimension, you must call upon me personally.
Oh, don't worry, I will. Who are you?
I am King Sewer of the Summer Kingdom of Caldia, brother, alongside the other elemental monarchs, to the unfortunate and insane Boreas. In earlier days, we ruled the four realms of Fairy in relative peace, each of us the master of our own kingdom. But something changed in Boreas. He grew darker somehow, more than was typical of his usual melancholy. We worried, yes, but chose not to intervene. Boreas was the Lord of Hyberheim, and it was his right to rule it as he pleased.
Can I go to your realms and check them out?
When our brother called the elemental seats to convene in Hyberheim, we were ecstatic. Boreas seemed again interested in the joint rule of Fairy, and upholding the long-established diplomacy of our lands.
Let me guess, it didn't go well.
When we arrived, however, it was not Boreas who greeted us, but a dark figure. A woman with a stare like blackest fire. In her staff she held a demonic power, the likes of which I've never felt.
I bet Jahan would have a lot to say about this.
To its depths, we thought we'd never see the light of Fairy again.
I found the White Witch, but she's trapped in ice. Can you help me free her?
Source Hunter, it would be my sincerest honor. Take this rune and use it to summon me when you're near the witch once more. If she can be extracted from Boreas ice, I'll find a way to make it so.
I like how these two just are, like, dancing there. You say it was a woman who trapped you. What do you know about her?
I listened closely when I could to Boreas' doings. From what I could tell, it seems this woman had little contact with our deranged brother after the initial exchange of the staff. From what I could tell, the arrangement was thus. She gave him us, contained, and in return he gave her access to his great star stone, and scores of imps he'd invited to Hyperheim. After that, the two parted, and I heard little more of the woman. In his fits of madness, Boreas would sometimes bellow abuse about the demon woman. I can only assume he meant the same who trapped us.
Alright, well, I'll take my leave.
That's settled that, innit? We best be on our way then. The spring and autumn kingdoms won't rule themselves, you know. May our paths cross soon, Source Hunter.
But I wanna take... Do you wanna see if you had any goodies?
Ah, our champion has returned. Have you yet determined how I might repay my debt?
Alright. You don't actually have anything particularly interesting to say. You are gonna hang around, though. Fire Rune. Magical rune, property of Sua, the Fire King. Use it in the right place to summon him. Alright, well, let's go ahead and do just that. Hyperheim Prison. And I'll need to figure out how I can get through that, that barrier in that one, in his, I guess, throne room kind of thing. Although maybe this will do so.
I don't know how long she'll last within that ice. There must be a way.
Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe if I equip that talisman.
I've tried my very best, and will try and try anew. But so far, this damnable ice scoffs at my every effort.
Good news! Powerful fire elemental, King Sua, has agreed to help set Icara free.
Sua, you say? But that is wonderful. My faith in you as ever well placed. At your leisure, Source Hunter. Though for Icara's sake, we ought not to dilly-dally too long. The White Witch is quickly growing a whiter shade of pale indeed.
Oh, that's such a good song, though. Alright, let's go ahead and use that.
This is your White Witch, then?
Uh-huh.
And you're sure you want to free her, are you?
Yeah?
Even our mad Boreas wouldn't have wasted such precious ice on a petty criminal.
I'm pretty sure it was part of the deal.
Whatever she did to find herself here must have been rather severe indeed. But I am in your debt, and I would be remiss not to honor your request. Shield your eyes, Source Hunter. To melt ice of this refinement, I'll need to summon an equally rare flame.
So you're saying it's hot ice? Ah, we're staring at it. We're staring at it.
Gods, it's colder than a witch's teat. How very callous of Leandra to inter her only sister in a barren tundra for eternity.
Oh, I can't trade with you.
Icara, you're all right? The ice, King Boreas, and your sister. What a frigid hell you've endured.
And yet not even a frigid hell like this could induce you to put on a shirt, could it, Ahu? My old friend. Surely I have you to thank for my salvation.
No, actually, it's us. You know, we could use a reward.
That honor goes to a pair of talented source hunters, actually. If not for their efforts, I'd be quite uselessly prowling around your prison still.
Then perhaps I ought to address my savior directly. Source Hunter, is that the masquerade?
Yep.
Well, what a motley crew we are. Isn't there somewhere a bit warmer we might discuss matters?
Sure, we could take you to Sicil and put you in prison, because you do stand accused of murdering the Sicilian High Counselor Jake. Let's see. What do you mean by masquerade? We are members of the Order of Source Hunters.
Ah, yes, of course, of course. Do pardon me. I didn't mean to imply you were very clearly eternal beings in the guise of minor mortals. Not at all. Please, let's do carry on.
Good, because we totally are. But are you the White Witch?
Oh, yes, I suppose I am. But I do prefer my given name. Icara, that is. Charmed. But I hope I haven't disappointed my own hero. Am I just as white and witchy as you'd hoped?
I was hoping for a hat. How did you become imprisoned here?
First things first, Source Hunter. For my freedom, I owe you every imaginable thanks. My soul had withered in this prison, and I might not have survived much longer without your help. Now, about the culprits. My corrupted sister and the mad Winter King.
Yeah, former still out there, latter shattered into a billion pieces.
When I realized exactly where, and to whom Leandra was consigning me, I was certain I'd never enjoy the sun's warmth again. But neither she nor I anticipated the Source Hunter. That was her mistake, and my blessing. I never would have imagined Leandra capable of dealing with the likes of Boreas, but she has changed into someone I hardly recognize anymore.
Well, tell me more about Leandra.
My own little sister.
Oh, you're the older one, huh?
Imagine it. She was always the more ambitious, the more exacting of us, and she had no fear of the darkness that so often accompanies Source.
So often accompanies Source? You mean sometimes it doesn't?
Her collusion with King Boreas in imprisoning me here confirms my worst fears. She is planning something far greater than I could have anticipated.
Yeah, I mean, just the utter destruction of all existence into emerging with void.
For this reason, and with a heavy heart, I must ask you, Source Hunter, to find out how far exactly Leandra has become entwined in the dark arts.
Oh, we know pretty well, but more importantly, you stand accused of murdering the Sicilian High Counselor Jake.
I take no pleasure in the memory of that night. The thought of hurting anyone or anything is abhorrent to me. But in this case, I judged it necessary.
It did bring us in.
If you've come this far, I trust you've learned that the Counselor was far from a humble civil servant. This doesn't excuse my behavior, but perhaps it can help to explain it.
What happened the night of Jake's murder?
It's a sordid story, to be perfectly frank. Two sisters, a philanderous, treacherous wizard, death and mayhem. Are you sure you're interested in such things?
Oh, very much so.
The sparkle in your eye belies your better nature, Source Hunter. Now I know that it is your duty to get to the heart of this. And, in truth, the events of that night were but one part of a larger and much darker matter. A matter in which I'll dare to beg your assistance before we're through with one another.
I kind of figured as much.
Now that terrible night.
Okay, and? Ooh, cutscene.
One night, as I slept, I had a sudden revelation. No dream, but a vision. My sister Leandra and my lover Zandalor.
I have his trunks.
I didn't understand, but I recognized their location. Sicil's King Crab Inn. I arrived and looked through their window, but inside, everything was wrong. Leandra had fled, and Counselor Jake stood over the wizard, a knife in his hand and hate in his eyes. As I watched, he drove the dagger deep into Zandalor's heart, and I was too late to stop him. In that moment, I broke. I saw before me not a man, not even a beast, but evil incarnate. And I used Source to slay him.
Oh, well, that was
On the floor
bad.
lay Zandalor. In my hands, I held Jake's life force. I had sworn never to use Source, but I couldn't walk away.
Well, we're gonna have to arrest you
And
now.
so I did the unthinkable. I used the Counselor's life to save Zandalor's. He was alive, but only just. Betrayal. Murder. Source. We were all of us guilty now.
Yep, I'm
If
gonna
you were
sentence you to
any
200
other
years
Source
hard labor.
Hunter, I suppose you'd strike me down where I stand after that terrible admission. Fortunately for us both, you are no other Source Hunter.
Alright, I'll take my leave, apparently.
I hate to extend my own invitation, Source Hunter, but I believe I ought to accompany you to Zigzax's hideout. Presumptuous, yes, but I'd recognize the imp's essence just about anywhere. Both he and you must learn more about the darkness that has extended itself into our dearest Rivellon. And I believe I know where we must begin.
Okie dokie.
Ah, but unless that's a bear flailing through the threads of time, I do believe Master Zigzax is on his way. Make way, Source Hunter, landing in 3, 2...
Hunters, you've done it! Icara is free!
I was-
Ah, what good it does my impish heart to see her safe and bright as ever!
I was kind of hoping that you'd actually crash, sir. That would have been fun.
We have much to discuss. Come one and all to the end of time. A spot of something warm and the soft glow of the tapestry ought to do us all a bit of good, hmm?
I suppose.
There you are, Icara. Now, if we're done playing hide and seek, let's not waste a jot more time. Oh, I just can't wait to pick your every synapse.
After
Yeah.
you, Master Zigzax.
Well,
So that's the White Witch, eh? I expected someone a little more evil. I can't say I'd cut her down for mistake, but she sure has fewer horns than I expected.
Oh, if only Jarrett were here to meet her. He would have loved to lay eyes on the White Witch of so many legends.
I mean, I would have definitely appreciated horns too. But, Hanako.
We've solved the murder and caught the culprit, yet this case feels anything but closed.
You think? The witch killed the counselor. Murder is murder, and that's all there is to it. There's more to this crime than simple fact. Killing the killer is hardly the same as killing an innocent, after all.
We'll have to learn more before we can assess Icara's true guilt in this matter. Fortunately, she seems quite eager to tell us more about this entire dark affair.
Yes, yes, confess, confess. Alright, romantic. How does that stack up to what I want? That is Lucky Charm increased versus crafting. Oh yeah, I'd rather have Lucky Charm. Much better. Alright. Okie dokie. I guess we go to the end of time for now. Anything else unlocked? I don't remember this one being unlocked. But hold on. Let's go talk to people down here first. I mean, she is wearing white. It's interesting.
I have seen the void,
striped
and
pants.
it haunts me. follows my vision like confused spots after staring in the sun.
We are haunted by the same vision, my friend. The end of all visions. But only in the dark can light be born. Let us cling to that and hope. Why, I see Master Zigzags has upgraded from his shabby little hut at the edge of the hour. From the fairy dimension to the, space-time weaver hunter imp one. What do you call this place again?
This is our homestead on the shelter plane at the end of time.
Ha! Is that so? It seems I have my share to learn about the magical world yet. The end of time. Well, suddenly your association with Master Zigzags makes sense. Well, I must say, it's no small relief to find myself in a safe haven among such allies.
Well, let's start from the beginning. How is your sister involved with the dire happenings around Rivellon?
I believe the answer to that begins centuries ago.
Oh god, this is going to be a long story.
When your order was still cutting down so-called dark magicians by the dozens.
I mean, we kind of still do that.
Ours was a family of born sorcerers, you see. It was in our blood to interact with Source. But our parents were determined to curb the power within us. Still, their meekness wouldn't save them from the Source Hunters.
Then it's true, you are a sorcerer.
I am. But there is more to our kind than they teach at your academy. Source isn't only blood and madness. It's like lightning, an exquisite current of great power. We sorcerers are like metal steeples. Source is drawn to us, and it flows through us. But what so many fail to understand is that Source can be controlled. The power-drunk through history have abused it, and all the world's sorcerers have borne terrible consequences.
What consequences do you mean?
Tell me, Source Hunter, in all your hours studying the arcane arts, did your great masters ever suggest that perhaps not all sorcerers were evil?
Gonna guess no.
Did you ever hear, even once, that some of us were weak and gentle? That we could be simple forest folk healing the sick and frozen each winter?
To be fair, we probably wouldn't find out about them because they'd be kind of staying under the radar.
No. I doubt also that they'd mention that one day this hunt of yours would birth a broken soul powerful enough to inch all of Rivellon toward oblivion.
You mean to blame Leandra's doings on we source hunters?
No. No, that would be going too far, and eschewing my own responsibility. I believe Leandra's long fall down did begin at the hands of some of your own order, but it was I who sparked all of this.
I mean, it's still her choice. You mean someone of our own order killed your parents?
They came on a quiet morning. My mother was wild with fright and commanded me to hide myself and Leandra outside, among the trees. Even at that young age, we knew not to question her.
Oh yeah, you'd get a paddling if you didn't. If you did, right?
We climbed high into the branches of a nearby tree.
That's terrible.
And before we could look away, our parents were cut down without ceremony before our door. The Source Hunters sauntered away, wiping their blades with pride. 2 more sorcerers dead, a job well done.
What became of Leandra and yourself?
From that moment on, everything was different. As we trembled in that tree, our fear and our desperation were so potent that the magic within us began to weave together. Our souls became forged together, our bond unbreakable. We would survive, thrive even, within those woods, never speaking to outsiders. Our soul forge meant that if one of us were to die, the other would instantly perish too. We kept one another close. Leandra's capacity was enormous. Source didn't frighten her, and she delved into that dark well with terrible regularity. I did my best to guide her, but she fast outgrew my admonitions.
Tell me what happened between yourself, Leandra, and the wizard.
My sister and I were mired in a solitary existence, witches among the trees when Zandalore came. Leandra especially couldn't leave him be. He was a feast of information, and she wouldn't rest until she'd absorbed every bit of knowledge he offered. Their days were spent on charms, hexes, and the like. At night, Leandra would wander off to practice what she'd learned, and Zandalor and I would settle into our quiet tasks, side by side.
Aha. Okay, gotcha.
We were a content trio, the three of us, but base impulse would undo us.
What do you mean by base impulse?
As you know, Leandra and I were soul-forged. This offered us a window into one another's souls. I knew Leandra had developed feelings for Zandalor, and she knew I had too. But it was me to whom he confessed his love. Those quiet evenings together had captured his heart, as they had mine. Her heart broke the moment we announced our new attachment, and I felt the pain of it as sharply as a knife. She fled, without a word, and I didn't see her for 2 terrible years. My connection to her, our soul forge, grew weaker. It was as though some third entity, a parasite, were atop our souls, sucking the strength from it day by day.
Well, what's next? How do we stop Leandra?
We've a single order of business first and foremost. Leandra is gathering an army, and I fear we'll have to get through it if we wish to find her.
Ah, that's fine. I have some special powers for that.
But first, we must learn more about Leandra's plans. How many of these so-called Immaculates does she have in her palm, and to what end is she directing them?
I mean, there's got to be a lot of them, because we keep slaughtering them.
Your journey must begin in the Lacula mines, where she has been accumulating materials and manpower for a purpose as yet unknown. The way will be dangerous. Her allies are growing more powerful and numerous by the minute. But we must discover exactly what Leandra is planning, and why.
What can you tell me about Saren? I mean, infiltrating the mines.
A soul forge comes with its own benefits, Source Hunter. Though our connection has weakened, I still see the occasional vision of Leandra's doings, the pangs of her deepest felt emotions, and flashes of her triumphs.
I mean, that probably means that she knows that you've been freed and you're here.
One vision.
By that same token.
I had thought it was only a nightmare, but now I see it was something much worse. Leandra is collecting materials, precisely what, I cannot say, and is hard at work shaping them into something sinister.
Oh god, she's making a black gate.
Her frustrations are rivaled only by her mirth. I can see she's growing closer and closer to achieving something dire. You must make your way deep into the mines to see exactly what she's planning.
Right. She's making a black gate. I got it. She's gonna summon the Guardian. Is there no redeeming your sister?
I believe that our soul forge has been damaged. By what? I can only guess. The fraying of the bond between us has left Leandra adrift in a well of sorrow she truly believes will never end.
Yeah, she's kind of dumb.
What she needs is a hand. My hand, out of this abyss. If our soul forge is repaired, I am certain she'll cease blazing this path of destruction.
I mean, maybe that, or she just needs some antidepressant medication. Let's discuss the soul forge between you and Leandra.
I cannot condone the terrible things she's done, but I can seek to understand them. With our soul forge in such tatters, I believe Leandra is adrift in the not at all inconsiderable sorrows of our lives. What's more, I sense a terrible force bearing down upon the bond between us. It is hungry, and it consumes ever more of Leandra's mind and soul. I cannot say exactly what this force might be, but I'm certain it's both driving me out and driving Leandra on.
Well, yeah, that's just an unfair description of me, alright? I have no interest in Leandra's mind and soul, but I am definitely hungry and ever-consuming.
If I could only repair the forge, I'm certain she'd put a stop to this madness.
Alright, well, let's discuss the mines.
The way may be treacherous, but you must get inside. I fear my sister is doing something dreadful so far from the light of day.
Alright, I'll take my leave.
Good to see you on the shelter plane. A home away from home, is it not?
Alright, well, actually, we might have some other things to talk to them about. I do not remember all of these. That's a Hall of Frost, right? Oh, no, the Hall of Secrets. I do remember the Hall of Secrets. Okay. So we have not actually gotten a new one. Alright, fair enough. I haven't bought anything from the Hall of Secrets yet, but we may do so. In the future,
Leandra and I have had our differences, but she herself would never have sent me to that frozen hell. Something or someone has taken hold of her. I'm sure of it.
I don't know about that. Anyway, when we come back next time, I'll double check to see if anyone has anything interesting to say, and might go back to Boreas' area and hold on, try to get through that passage. I think that amulet might do it, but I'm not positive. But that will be for next time. Otherwise, it's back to Lacula Forest and going through some mines. At least it's not sewers, right? See you next time, everyone.